It began, as all the longest journeys do, with a single step. In this case, a vision, one so powerful that it changed a young man's life and is changing the lives of all those he serves today in the community of Pedro Vicente Maldonado, Ecuador. Just 100 kilometers or so from the South American country's capital city of Quito, this poor mountain village is a lifetime removed from the campus of the University of Notre Dame, where a young David Gauss went to learn accounting, and from whence he left to study medicine. Like many Notre Dame students, Dr. David's personal vision of the future was influenced by his community service experience at the university and by the personal example of its president at that time, Father Theodore Hesburgh.
David, a Notre Dame graduate, came down here, and 2 years later, he called me and he said, I think I know what I have to do. I don't know if I can be a doctor because all my education's been economics, really. But he had to come back to Notre Dame, took 2 years of pre-medical, went to Tulane, especially because he could do tropical medicine there. It's one of the few places. Then he went to Milwaukee and got a public health master's degree. Then he came down, he married an Ecuadorian lady, he has 2 children, and he's going to spend his life here.
I decided that I wanted to make this place my home. It was something that had given so much to me. I felt like I wanted to give something back to it, and the only way I could give something back to Ecuador would be to be here.
As happens with a pebble cast into still water, the ripples of Dr. David's life-changing decision today break against the hillsides of this rural town and against the walls of a new community hospital that is but the latest step in that long journey begun nearly 20 years ago. And though magnified over that time, the vision remains the same: to provide the poor with the basic health care that all human beings deserve. Most of us are fortunate to live in a society where appropriate medical care is quickly accessible. Most of us don't give it a second thought. Here in the mountains along the equator, however, where the roads are rough and the villages remote, thinking twice about medical needs and options is very much a part of daily life, or was in Pedro Vicente Maldonado. Digna Ramirez was the first mother to give birth in the new medical facility known as Soludesa. She went home the next day with a healthy baby boy.
Sometimes the mother dies or the child dies. Better to trust in the doctors, they know more. I thank all the doctors and friends that work here.
If we analyze the facts that people have expressed in the studies we have done, they have decided to pay for health care. We're talking about close to 90% of the population if and when people can be guaranteed quality care. What we mean by quality care is the permanence of service and attention of a good kind.
Future generations in Pedro Vicente Maldonado will point to the spring of 2001 as not just the time when a new hospital opened its doors, but also as the time when new dreams for the future opened for everyone living in the surrounding hills and fields. Dreams that their lives may only grow longer and perhaps less burdensome, relieved of sickness and pain by the doctors, nurses, and medical staff who share in that hope. From the simple Band-Aid delicately put on a little girl's finger to the comfort rendered the mother of a severely malnourished child, Soludesa already is setting the standard for hospital care in areas of Ecuador too often overlooked by mainstream medicine.
We have every reason to think, by virtue of how it's been developed, that it will succeed and that it can be transported so that the multiplier effect, we want it to be replicable, to get that multiplier effect so that ultimately, in perhaps not too many years, once you have a successful demonstration like this, the country could be blanketed.
Representando a los ganaderos y agricultores, nuestro objetivo principal es de que el ganadero y el agricultor.
I represent the cattlemen and farmers. Our primary objective is that farmers and cattlemen can succeed in their primary production and to better their health. I have good hopes for this hospital and the care it will provide.
As yet, good hopes is all that fills many of these treatment areas, wards, and patient rooms. Although Saludesa is certainly a big step along the path toward Dr. David's vision, many steps remain to be taken in the form of beds, desks, medicine cabinets, monitors, x-ray machines, and all manner of other much-needed medical supplies. As Dr. Richmond says, those involved with Andean health and development seek not to build a monument, but instead a sustainable medical model for this and other impoverished communities around the globe.
It is a little village in the mountains, about maybe 5,000 or 10,000 people, depending on how far out you go. But if you go out 5 or 10 miles, you're talking about 50,000 people up and down that mountainside. Little farmers, little tenant holders, just a 50,000 community with no medical care suddenly has the best medical care.
Those who share in the effort are charged for the future and believe that through their work and the support of others attracted by its light, one startling vision will continue to become a reality.
Part of this model addresses the issue of really empowering the poor to take charge of their own health and their own lives. It gets people to believe that if they pay for healthcare services, they're the ones that control the system. And so they don't have to depend on people like the central government. If they are paying for the system, then they're doing something they've never done before. They're really controlling their own future.